Friends, today we'll see the assessment of institutional framework under legislation and financial frameworks of IWRM. Assessment of the institutional framework, processes and tools. Assessment of the institutional framework requires a process to come from an identified present water resource management situation to a desired integrated water resource management situation. The steps in this process are identification of the present situation, formulation of a desired IWRM situation, formulation of interventions to arrive at the desired IWRM situation, and establishment of a monitoring system to see whether the interventions are being carried out properly. This we have already seen that the process involves four steps, that is the identification of the present situation, then formulation of a desired IWRM and formulation of the interventions to arrive at the desired IWRM situation and establishment of a monitoring body to look after the interventions as well as the desired IWRM implementation. The following steps are followed in the assessment of the institutional framework. Step 1. Existing water management situation. The present situation on water resource use and management should be well known before any interventions directing to IWRM can be made. So you should have an idea of the existing water situation before we go for the interventions to have a desired IWRM. Understanding the water situation is a prerequisite for assessment and analysis of institutional framework and the water use conflicts between stakeholders. Also, you should have the idea of the different uses and the conflicts between the stakeholders. It appeared essential to have a basic document on the present water situation to start the institutional assessment process. Important aspects to be dealt with are water availability and water use, stakeholders, physical conditions, socio-economic conditions, legal framework, institutional framework, policies and trends, and the financial situation. The experts should prepare a report consisting of following parameters. Physical condition. The following parameters are to be framed by the experts. The physical conditions. The assessment of the physical conditions concentrates on the temporal and spatial availability and use of water. So it requires the assessment of the spatial and temporal variation and the kind of water for which it is used. It requires information on climate and meteorology, hydrology and hydrogeology, aquatic ecosystems, abstractions and influence, and the availability and capacity of the storage facility. So you should have the information and knowledge on climate and meteorology, hydrology, hydrogeology, aquatic ecosystem, abstractions and influence, that is the water balance, and the availability and capacity of storage facilities. The essential information should be included in the inventory. For the inventory, a clear distinction has to be made between the different levels, national basin and sub-basin level. So we should have an inventory of all the information and it should be having different levels, national level, basin level as well as sub-basin level. At national level, the inventory should limit itself to the water balance in the different basins. Such water balance provides insight into whether and when the basin is surplus or deficit condition. Stakeholders and interest groups. Stakeholders are people or groups of people with a legitimate interest. Stakeholders are not the same as interest groups. So we have got two groups, one is interest group and another is stake groups, and interest groups differ from the stakeholder groups. Interest groups represent all kind of interests, public, private, environmental, social, etc. If they are organized and have statutes or bylaws, they represent legitimate interest and such become stakeholders. So the interest groups which are legally framed or having the legal status, then they can be treated as the stakeholders. They are like GOs, government organization, non-government organizations, professional organizations, commercial organizations, user associations. In IWRM, the stakeholders can be classified as follows. So the stakeholders can be classified as below. Water users, consumptive and non-consumptive users. So we have got different users, consumptive and non-consumptive use. So based on that, water users can be classified. Water polluters, agriculture, industry, domestic. Water managers, organizational and operational level. Water policy and lawmakers, constitutional level. Society, general society, general interests represented by government and specific interested represented by the NGOs. Inventory of water problems. In this stage, the inventory of water problems limits itself to those generally known and registered at the main stakeholders. So we should have an inventory of the water problems and they are registered at the main stakeholders. The type of problems that not only concern water quantity, quality and environmental issues but also relate to navigation, recreational and other uses. The inventory will be used in the second step as a starting point for analysis of the problems. So these inventory will be used in the second step of the assessment. Water rights and water allocation. In most of the countries, water is considered a public good, but individuals can obtain private rights over water by tradition. So we have got water right by tradition, but it is treated as a public good also. Existing water rights are often a main constraint and source of many problems in the optimization and introduction of the IWRM. So sometimes the existing water rights cause a constraint in solving the problems and optimizing the IWRM. The system of water rights, their acquisition and conditionalities, their transferability, and the system of water right administration should be clearly presented. So we should have a clear presentation of the water rights, their acquisition and conditions, and the way in which they are transferred. These ideas we should have. Water allocation between different users and users is an organizational function. Development of IWRM could learn much from the present water allocation system, the conditions and procedures and actors in the decision making process. So development of an IWRM depends on the procedures and the conditions and the actors in the decision making process. Description of socio-economic and financial environment. Many of the problems identified are due to the actual financial and social situations. Lack of infrastructure and maintenance, lack of good management, and their difficulty of having effective cost recovery are usually blamed on lack of financial situations. So we had some constraints in the implementation of IWRM due to the following: lack of the infrastructure and maintenance. So even though you are having good infrastructure, then there is a poor maintenance, lack of good management, and difficulty of having effective cost recovery. So we do not have an effective system of cost recovery for the services provided, and these are blamed on lack of financial resources. Therefore, it is important to have insight into the budget allocation mechanisms, budget constraints, cost recovery mechanisms, subsidies, price and tariff structures, collection mechanisms, collection efficiencies, capability and willingness to pay for the various users. So while for assessment of the institutional framework, we should have the information on the budget allocation mechanisms, budget constraints, cost recovery mechanisms, subsidies, price and tariff structures, collection mechanisms, collection efficiencies, capability and willingness to pay for the various uses. Existing water policies and strategies. Policies deal with principles like equitable and socially acceptable water distribution, water as a scarce, finite and economic good, integrated planning arrangements and other coordination efforts, private sector participation and environmental protection. An inventory of these policies indicate the level of awareness and commitment at constitutional functional level. Legal framework. An inventory with an explanation of principles is required of existing water laws, water regulations and relevant environmental regulations and decrees and bylaws of water authorities and river catchment agencies. So you should have an inventory which explains the existing water laws, water regulations, relevant environmental regulations, bylaws of water authorities and river catchment agencies. It is important to indicate whether and how the above mentioned policy aspects are incorporated in the legislation such as equitable water distribution, pricing, delegation and decentralization, participation, integrated planning and environmental protection. So it is important to indicate how the above mentioned policies aspects are incorporated in the legislation. So we should know how the following are incorporated in the legislation such as equitable water distribution, pricing, delegation and decentralization, participation, integrated planning and environmental protection. Relevant water institution. Relevant water institutions are those institutions that, with regard to water and water management, either formulate policies and laws, do or involved in water planning, coordinate water uses and users, private water services, or make use of water services. So, relevant institutions are those which formulate policies and laws and involve in planning, coordinate water use and users, provide water services. These can be government, semi-government or private institution on national, basin or use level. A water use flow diagram can give an indication of water users, service providers and coordinators. Post and present experience in IWRM. It is important to know what has been tried in the past to overcome certain problems encountered and to what extent these interventions have been successful or not. So IWRM is a cyclic process. We should know the past experiences as well and the present situation. Step number 2, stakeholder selection. The first inventory of stakeholders will be made in step 1. These stakeholders will be the obvious operators of water services, coordination bodies and policy and lawmakers. Also some stakeholders might have been overlooked in the first study. So already we have assessed the stakeholders and these stakeholders obviously are the operators of water services, coordination bodies and policy and lawmakers. But still some of them might be left over in the first study. Therefore, an independent team is formed to identify and select relevant stakeholders from the categories water policymakers, water managers, water service providers, water using agencies, water using groups, water users, and other potential interest holders at constitutional, organizational, and operational levels. So, independent team is formed to find out the stakeholders from these different levels. These stakeholders will be approached for in-depth interviews. Once the stakeholders are identified, they will be approached for a in-depth interview. Step number 3, stakeholder interviews. Experts carry out an elaborate procedure of interviewing the selected stakeholders, applying the guidelines for interviews. So, the guidelines for the interviews are framed, and the expert will conduct an elaborate interview with the selected stakeholders. These guidelines are in the format of a questionnaire with respect to the perception of the existing situation, what they consider to be the desired situation. So, the guidelines consist of the perception of the existing situation and as well as also the perception of the desired IWRM situation. The selected stakeholders will be invited to answer the questions during the interview. The interviews should provide information on the situation of water management and indicate the conflicts and the level of agreement and disagreement between stakeholders. It is therefore important that the interviews are made by specialists who understand the meaning, purpose, and operationalization of the IWRM and potential problems and conflicts that might be encouraged. So, the interviews will provide the information on the water conflicts and the level of agreement or the disagreement between the different interest groups or the stakeholders. So, the expert or the interviews which is carried out should be specialists who understand the meaning, purpose, and operationalization of the IWRM. A second part of the interview aims to obtain a description of the stakeholders' concept for improvement of existing water resource situation towards more integrated water resource management. Since IWRM is a participatory management approach, so in the interview we also should consider the stakeholders concept for improvement of the existing water resource situation towards a more integrated resource management. The following aspects and principles should be included: equitable and socially acceptable water distribution, efficient and economically sustainable water use, delegation, decentralization and other devolution of authority, participation of stakeholders, integrated planning, private sector participation, environmental protection. Step number 4, analysis of stakeholder opinions. The outcome of all the interviews will be collected and inventory will be made of agreements and disagreements between the different stakeholders on the present situation, the problems and constraints, and the steps to be taken to come to a better water management. So once the interviews are conducted with the stakeholders, then you should have an inventory of the differences which have differences among the different stakeholders, disagreements, and the different stakeholders on and the opinion of the different stakeholders on the present situation, the problems and constraints, and the steps to be taken to come to a better water management. The results of the interviews are described in a report and disseminated with the background document to the interviewed stakeholders. These stakeholders should also be invited to the workshops that follow in the process. Step number 5, workshop 1, problem identification. The first workshop, to which all the relevant stakeholders are invited, deals with the assessment of the existing water resource management situation and problem identification according to the perception of stakeholders. Once the interviews are completed with the stakeholders and inventories are made and the stakeholders are invited for a workshop, where the assessment of the existing water resource management situation and problem identification according to the perception of stakeholders are discussed. The purpose of the first workshop is to confront the different stakeholders with the perception of their stakeholders, with perception of other stakeholders, and obtain consensus between all different stakeholders of what the real problems are and we should be addressed. So, in the workshop, we should come to a consensus looking into the different interest of the different stakeholders and perception and the perception of other stakeholders and to obtain a consensus. The agreed set of problems will then be used as an input for the further stages on formulation of a desired IWRM situation and the necessary interventions. The agreed problems and which are come to a consensus will be input for the further stages of formulation of the desired IWRM situation. Important is that the workshop will be organized under the auspices of acknowledged and accepted authorities, as participants will only take such an activity serious if the result will contribute to the process of change. It is important that the workshops will be organized under the auspices of the acknowledged and accepted authorities. So, these workshops are to be organized by the accepted authorities, as participants will only take such an activity serious if the results will contribute to the process of change. Step number 6, workshop 2, formulation of desired IWRM situation and interventions. The second workshop will elaborate extensively on the principles of integrated water resource management and will further result in the formulation of a desired IWRM situation in that specific basin and set of interventions that will be needed to achieve that. So in the second workshop, there is an elaborate discussions based on the principles of the IWRM and also a discussions towards formulation of a desired IWRM situation and the interventions needed will be discussed. This workshop is indicative and the outcome provides direction for constitutional, organizational and operational interventions. The outcome should be seen as an input for national policy and decision makers. So this second workshop is an indicative and the outcome provides the direction for the constitutional, organizational and operational interventions. Step number 7, preliminary basin sub-basin report. Based on the foregoing steps, the experts will draft a preliminary country document comprising assessment of the existing water management situation, complete problem inventory, desired water resource management situation, proposed set of general and specific interventions needed to reach the desired situation. So, the step number 7 will involve a primary document which consists of the assessment of the existing situation, complete problem inventory, desired water resource management situation, and proposed set of general and specific interventions. The step number 8, dissemination and comments. The draft country basin sub-basin report is disseminated and a thorough procedure for collecting comments from different stakeholders at the different levels is followed. So dissemination of the earlier formulation of the IWRM is done in step number 8 and comments from different stakeholders at the different levels is followed in this step. Final country basin sub-basin report. So expert draft a final country basin sub-basin report which is offered to the government and financing agencies for endorsement and inclusion into the strategy or into specific water related projects for the specific country. So once the report is finalized and it is submitted to the government for financing or the financing agencies for endorsement and inclusion into the strategy or into a specific water related project for the specific basin or the country. Step number 10, monitoring procedure. A monitoring procedure is developed to see whether the interventions are taking place and whether the envisaged results are achieved. So to achieve the desired IWRM, you should monitor the interventions and the desired IWRM implementation. Okay, thank you.